Hello students, how are you all? I hope you all are good. Please stay at home, take care of yourself and your family. So today I'm going to teach you a chapter that is Strange Land from English book. Okay? So I will read and I will explain you as well. So please follow. So the story is Strange Land, okay? Dorothy lived in Kansas with her uncle, aunt, and their dog Toto. Dorothy is a little girl. She has an uncle, aunt, and a dog called Toto. One day, what happened? A cyclone picked up their house with Dorothy and Toto inside and placed it in a strange fantasy land. So, one day, a cyclone came and just took their house with Dorothy and Toto inside the house and placed it in a strange fantasy land. Now, what do you mean by strange land? Strange land, a totally unfamiliar land, unfamiliar place, a place which was totally unknown to Dorothy and her dog. And small men called munchkins inhabited the land. And in that land, small men, short in height, those kind of men used to inhabit. When Dorothy got out of the house, she came to know that the munchkins were very troubled by the wicked witch of the east. So, there were wicked witch in the east who used to trouble these munchkins. Now, what do you mean by wicked witch? Wicked means bad, and witch means woman who does black magic kind of things, evil magic. The friendly witch of the north came up to Dorothy and informed her that her house had landed on the wicked witch of east. So, a friendly witch of the north came to Dorothy and said her house was placed or landed on the wicked witch of the east. She gifted Dorothy the wicked witch's silver slippers. The witch of the north gifted Dorothy a pair of silver slippers of the wicked witches. Dorothy asked how she could get back home. So the witch of the north told her to ask the Wizard of Oz in the Emerald City. So now come to the chapter. It was just a small introduction which was given in a yellow box, so I just read out that. When Dorothy was left alone, she began to feel hungry. So she went to the cupboard and cut herself some bread, which she spread with butter. She had some and gave some to Toto. So Dorothy felt a little hungry as she was alone with her dog. So she went to the cupboard. Cupboard means almirah, where we store food, clothes, and all kinds of things. And cut herself some bread and applied butter on it. Okay, ate some and gave some to Toto. After breakfast, she set about making ready for the journey to the Emerald City. Now, after breakfast, she went to beat up herself for the journey to the Emerald City. Dorothy had only one other dress, but that happened to be clean and was hanging on a peg beside her bed. So Dorothy had only one other dress which was clean and was hanging on a peg. Peg means the place where we hang clothes. It was gingham. Now gingham is a kind of dress with checks of white and blue. See, a kind of dress which in the picture it is given over there. The kind of dress, blue and white check. So that kind of dress is known as gingham. And although the blue was somewhat faded with many washings, so as you can see, the blue colors got faded because due to many wash. When we wash our clothes very frequently, what happened? The colors get faded. But it was still a pretty frock. The girl washed herself carefully, dressed herself in the clean gingham, and tied her pink sunbonnet on her head. See, sunbonnet means the pink color, which Dorothy is wearing on her head. That is known as sunbonnet. She took a little basket and filled it with bread from the cupboard, laying a white cloth over the top. So, as she was about to set for her journey, she took a little basket and filled it with bread from the cupboard and laid a white cloth over it. Then she looked down at her feet and noticed how old and worn her shoes were. So, when she noticed at her feet, she saw that her shoes were very old. Okay, this surely will never do for a long journey, Toto, she said. And Toto looked up into her face with his little black eyes and wagged his tail to show he knew what she meant. So, when Dorothy said that, Toto, I think I cannot go for this long journey with these shoes. But Toto pretended as if he understood what she meant. At that moment, Dorothy saw lying on the table the silver shoes that had belonged to the Witch of the East. So, at that time, meanwhile, as I told you, the Witch of the North gifted a pair of silver slippers to Dorothy. So it was lying on the table. So when Dorothy noticed, then what happened? I wonder if they will fit me, she said to Toto. They would be just the thing to take a long walk in, for they could not wear out. She took off her old leather shoes and tried on the silver ones, which fitted her as well as if they had been made for her. So she took out her old shoes and wore the new one, the silver one, okay? And it fitted her so well, she thought that it was made for her only. Finally, she picked up her basket. Come along, Toto, she said. We will go to the Emerald City and ask the great Ozzy how to get back to Kansas again. So, when she was all set for a journey, she picked up her basket and said, Toto, let's go. Now it's time to go to the Emerald City and ask the great Ozzy how to get back to Kansas again. She closed the door, locked it, and put the key carefully in the pocket of her dress. And so, with Toto trotting along soberly behind her, she started on her journey. So, she closed the door, locked it, and put the key carefully in her pocket. And so, with Toto trotting. Now, what do you mean by trotting? Trotting means running or walking fast, taking short, quick steps. As a dog walk slowly, trot, not like this with small steps. So Toto followed her as she started on her journey. So mark till here. In next class we shall continue from the next paragraph. Thank you, students.